Hey, it's Katie, and welcome back to my booktube channel. Today, I'm bringing you guys with me as I make my February TBR, and if you haven't watched my January TBR already, I've decided to make a TBR jar this month. And basically in this jar, I have a whole bunch of prompts which are supposed to help me read books for my physical TBR because I'm not really the best at that. I keep buying more books, but I'm not good at reading the ones I own. So every month I'm picking 4 or 5 prompts from here, and I'm just gonna pick them right on the spot. And that way I can still choose what book I wanna read based on the prompt, but it forces me to pick something I already own. So we are going to start off with that. Like usual, I'll have like 10 books on my TBR, just 4 of them will be from this jar. So let's see what is the first prompt. I'm really excited. I had a great time, and I actually read all 4 books that were from prompts last month. So I really think this is going to work for me. A book with water on the cover or in the title. See, this is hard because since it's February, I wanted to read mostly romance books and then also throw in a couple for Black History Month. So I don't know if I have anything that fits those categories with water on the cover, because I have All the Stars and Teeth, which I think has water on the cover because it's a pirate book, but I don't think I have anything else with water on the cover. That's not true. I do have this romance. I think this might be it. Okay. I have 1,000 Boy Kisses by Tilly Cole, which I saw from Steph Bohr's channel, and I've owned this since like August, haven't read it yet. I don't remember what it's about. I know it's a romance between a boy and a girl who I think were friends as kids, grew apart and met up again later. At least that's what I think it's about. And it's supposed to be emotional. I know it makes people cry, which is why I haven't read it yet. I'm very hesitant, but maybe this will be my month. Okay, let's see what the second prompt is. Oh geez, there's so many of them. Okay. Ooh, fiance pick. That means I have to go get my fiance real quick. I will be back. I'm nervous because I don't know what you're gonna say. Okay, so it took him a second, but I think he finally picked the book that he wants me to read this month. And it is This Poison Heart by Kaylin Bayron. Thank you. You can go back to whatever you were doing.
Nothing important, I can tell you that. Love you.
I love you too. But this is a special edition of this book I got from one of my subscription boxes, and it sounds so good. I just haven't read it yet, but it is by a Black author, so that is perfect for Black History Month, and I feel like it's a good time to read it also. It's really pretty and purple, so that gives me Valentine's Day vibes, even though the book itself doesn't. So, perfect. All right, prompt number 3. Oh gosh. A book that was gifted to you. Okay. I feel like I have a lot because, you know, it was just Christmas, and my fiance also buys me books all the time. So I'm trying to think which ones were gifted. Those I bought. I have too many books, I can't remember which ones were gifts and which ones weren't. Okay, that I bought. I think I bought that one. We have Well Matched by Jen DeLuca is an option. Because he was really sweet, he bought me a copy, and then I accidentally spilled water on it, and then he bought me another copy. So that is an option. Donut Fall in Love was a Christmas gift from my parents. I could also pick the second book in my Discreet series by Willow Winters. Because that's spicy. I love a good Jen DeLuca. You know what? No, I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with Well Matched by Jen DeLuca. It is the third book in the companion novel series, starting with Well Met. And I love it. It takes place at a Renaissance fair, and this follows the sister of the main character of Well Met, April. And I think this is fake dating, which I love. So I'm really excited to finally get to this one. And then the last prompt is an author that's new to me. This one might be really difficult. Let's see. I've read that before. I've read from them. We have Mia Sheridan, Sarah Hogel, Sally Thorne. Okay, actually it's not that difficult. There's so many I want to get to. I don't know if I can just narrow it down to just like 10 books this month because there's so many. Because I still want to work in like Wings of Ebony by J.L., who I haven't read from before. Pretty much all of these authors I haven't read before except for Emma Lord. Most of these authors I haven't read. I haven't read any of them. I think I'm going to go with The Cost of Knowing by Brittany Morris. Of course, it's at the bottom of the stack, so give me 1 second to get it out. Okay. The Cost of Knowing by Brittany Morris. Brittany Morris is another Black author, so that's perfect for Black History Month. And I'm like so far behind. This book came out at the beginning of 2021. I don't even remember. It's been a while. It's been almost a year, I think. Yeah, 2021. And this sounds so good. It's about a character who, when he touches things or people, I think it's things or people, he sees into its future, and he ends up touching a photo that gives him a vision of his brother's imminent death. And so he's now in a race against time, death, and circumstances, where he and his brother have to grapple with their past, their future, and what it means to be a young Black man in America in the present. And that sounds really powerful, really emotional, and I feel like this is the perfect time to read it. Okay, so now that I picked all 4 prompts, oh no, they all fell. You guys didn't see that, but they all fell. I had them on the arm of the couch, and I just watched them tumble. That was really sad. I'm just gonna hold them for a second while I pick some other books. But, okay, let me think if I have any other... I really want to focus on romance, so I feel like I have 2 for Black History Month. There's one more I think I want to read, which is Wings of Ebony. That way I have like a fantasy to break things up, and I'm also reading another book by a Black author. So we're going to grab Wings of Ebony. I bought this really early last year and read like the first few pages and realized I didn't really want to read a fantasy at that moment, so I put it down and I haven't picked it up since. But it sounds really good, and it has blurbs by like Sabaa Tahir, Nick Stone, Tiffany D. Jackson, so I just feel like, oh, and also Nicola Yoon. There's just so many amazing authors that have blurbed this book, and I feel like I'm really gonna like it. So add it to this pile, and I'm gonna set them somewhere safer this time. Okay, now I have 5 romance books to choose from. Oh, I have like so many. I don't know what to pick. Okay, I'm definitely gonna go with You Deserve Each Other by Sarah Hogel because I joined a book club with Larissa from Larry Reads, and I don't have my phone with me. I can't remember the app that the book club is on. If I remember, I'll pop it up on the screen. But this is the book for the book club this month. Technically, it was like for most of January through like the second week of February, so I'm running out of time, so I'm going to add this. Sounds so good. I think it's like it's lovers to enemies to lovers. So it's like this engaged couple that neither of them want to go through with the wedding, but they don't want to be the one to call off the wedding because they have to foot the bill. So they start like this prank war trying to like force the other person to break off the engagement. And through these pranks, I think they fall back in love with each other. So I'm totally here for that. And it sounds adorable. I need to read this. I feel like I'm the last person to read this. Then we have The Soulmate Equation by Christina Lauren. I've been wanting to read this for so long, and it sounds so good. I think there's like this DNA-based matchmaking service, and our main character is a single mom. She does this matchmaking service, and she ends up being matched with one of the creators of the matchmaking service, I think. And it's actually somebody she already knows and does not get along with, so she doesn't really believe in the matchmaking service. And that sounds amazing. I think it's like enemies to lovers, single mom. Everything about that sounds really great, and it says emotional, sweet, and surprising on the cover. So I feel like it's perfect. It sounds cute and sounds like there's good banter and emotion all mixed into one, which I am a sucker for, especially in February. Then I have to go with Twisted Love by Anna Huang. I've been wanting to read this book forever. I feel like I keep saying that, but a lot of these I'm like save for when I really, really want a good romance, and February is like the perfect month for that. So I have to go for it. And on the front it says, he has a heart of ice, but for her he'd burn the world. That's all I need. That's literally all I need to know. I also think it's brother's best friend, which I love that trope. So it sounds good. It sounds like a forbidden romance, and I love that. It's between Alex and Ava. I need to read it. I might start with this one. I don't know. There's so many I want to read. I don't know where to start. I only have 2 more spots left. And I'm not gonna lie, I might also just talk about the other ones I want to read after I pick the last 2, because there's just so many. I think I'm going to pick, oh, I hope they don't all fall. Oh gosh. I think I'm going to go with Kisses and Croissants by Anne-Sophie, I can't pronounce her name. I'm not even going to pretend. I don't know if you can see that. But this just screams February. It is like a contemporary romance, or like a rom-com that takes place in Paris, and the cover is pink. So it's like a foreign romance. I love those. And it just looks so cute. So I have to read it this month. I think it also, our main character like does ballet, so we have that element as well. It just sounds so cute and like really, really sweet. So I just have to add this one. And then last but not least, I'm going to finish up with A Little Spice. I think I might have added this to my January TBR, and I did not read it yet. I was going to at the end of the month, but then I had my wedding dress appointment, so I didn't really have time. But I found my wedding dress, which is really exciting. Totally off topic, but I'm obsessed with it. Anyway, I didn't have a chance to read this, so I definitely want to read it in February, because the other day I spent a while like reading all of the synopses for all like 20 something books in the series, and they all sound so good. So I want to start. And then I also found the sequel at Walmart. Well, technically my fiance found it. So now I have both of these. So it's perfect. So I definitely want to get to Ice Planet Barbarians by Ruby Dixon. And I feel like once I read this, I'm probably going to also read Barbarian Alien, also by Ruby Dixon. And they just sound so good. I just have to know why people love this series. So those are the 10 books officially on my TBR, but I'm also hoping to get to so many of these. Like there's The Hating Game, Don't Not Fall in Love by Jackie Lau, A Sweet Mess by J.C. Lee, Serenading Heartbreak by Ella Fields, Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. I have Reminders of Him by Colleen Hoover, Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. I will probably continue the Addicted Calloway Sisters series at some point, because I just can't help myself. And I also have Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert, Battle Royal by Lucy Parker, How Sweet It Is by Dylan, is that who it is? Dylan Newton, I think. People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. We have Neon Gods by Katie Robert. I have 3 Mariana Zapata books. I have a whole stack up here. I don't know how many you can see, but we have Somewhere Between Bitter and Sweet by Lake and Zaykamp, You Have a Match, and When You Get the Chance by Emma Lord, The Geography of Lost Things by Jessica Brody, Prom Theory, and Don't Hate the Player, which I think you can see. So Literally, my TBR mentally is never ending. That's not even including the ones on my Kindle. So I'm going to try really hard to just focus on the TBR. That is like my official 10 for February. But hopefully this reading month is better than January. I only read, I don't even remember. Actually, I think I read 16 books, which is still good, but definitely not as many as I was consistently reading at the end of 2021. I was reading at least 20 like every month. So I want to get back to that. And I feel like reading a bunch of romance that I've been wanting to read for a while is a good way to do that. I've already read one book this month, so we are off to a good start. Let me know what books are on your February TBR because I could always use recommendations. And if we're reading any of the same books, let me know. I'd love to talk about them with you either in the comments here or on Instagram, Goodreads, any of that. But if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. And if you do subscribe, please click the notification bell so you know when I upload next. Thank you guys so much for watching. I can't wait to see you in my next video.